Hey all, good morning and welcome to ShareTreck. Today is the 10th of February 2022 and I hope you're having a good day so far. Let's get started with our session today. So let us first start by looking at the earnings calendar so far. So we had seen that Lyft and Pfizer had reported earlier. We kind of concluded that the Pfizer earnings was kind of lukewarm. Now, the next one that is the next set of reports consists of Disney, GlaxoSmithKline, Toyota Motors, and Uber, out of which we heard from GlaxoSmithKline yesterday. And they didn't have any words about the diagnostic projects with Mammoth, but they had reported a lukewarm earnings also. And what we took out from there was that Glaxo is also expecting 2022 to have same amount of COVID revenues. So that was a bit of a negative, and I think the market also picked it up. Today the markets are all down. This could be one of the reasons, apart from the Ukraine tensions. We have excellent news from Disney. Let's first start with Astrazeneca. Astrazeneca on Thursday forecast higher 2022 sales and raised its annualized dividend after the drug maker posted better than expected fourth quarter profits, as it gets a lift from its COVID-19 antibody treatment and cancer drugs. The company, however, warned that gross profit margins from coronavirus products were expected to be lower than the company average for this year, while sales for COVID-19 products were expected to decline by a percentage in the low to mid-20s. Basically what is happening here is that AstraZeneca is saying that there is going to be COVID-19 in 2022. So that's what I would take out from here. Next, let us look at Disney results. So Disney results were absolutely phenomenal in my opinion. Disney's blowout results, beating analyst estimates, showed that streaming revenue picked up addition of 12 million more subscribers in the quarter, and there was a rebound in parks business, experiences, and consumer products division, which saw revenues reach 7.2 billion during the quarter, double the 3.6 billion it generated in the prior year quarter. So that's absolutely positive from Disney, and also their earnings call gave the market the feel that Omicron is not going to be a problem going forward because their business is coming back onto track. Now let's move on next to Toyota. So both Toyota and Honda have reported upbeat earnings report profits as customers pay more for cars which are more scarce, and the scarcity is basically due to the supply chain bottleneck as well as the semiconductor shortage, which has received widespread coverage. So that's the background for this particular headline. But if you dwell deeper into the headline, Toyota's net profit fell 5.6% from a year earlier for the quarter ended December 31. So it was 791.74 billion yen. And they bet the estimate of 623.15 billion, which was the street consensus, but it was below what it had already achieved a year earlier for the same period. Third quarter revenue estimates also declined 4.5% to 7.86 trillion yen, exceeding the street estimate of 7.54 trillion yen. However, shares dropped almost 3% pre-market in response. So Toyota lowered its revenue forecast amid uncertainty over chip shortage. Toyota cut its annual production target by 500,000 vehicles. Electric vehicles made up to 28% of the 7.2 million Toyota reported. The Toyota and Lexus car sales that were reported in the 9 months through December. And those were primarily hybrid vehicles. Even that electricals, most of it was hybrid vehicle with only 12,000 battery EVs during that period. So what I would gather from this is that chip shortage persists, margin in ICE engines are dropping, and the hydrogen cell and profitability of EV is not very clear at this point of time. Basically because we don't have any information. A 2019 report that I had seen much earlier kind of indicated that there is no difference in profit margin for Toyota between its internal combustion engines and hybrids. But since then, technologies have changed, production methods have changed, the market dynamics have changed. So at this point of time, we don't have information whether the margins are higher for Toyota on the internal combustion engine or on EVs or on pure battery EVs or hybrids. So there's not much clarity out there, but the fact remains that even though we had Apple and Tesla saying that the semiconductor shortage is easing off, Toyota is saying the opposite and has actually cut its production. However, Honda is on the other end saying that, yeah, we have concerns about chip shortage, but we are not reducing our production targets. So that's where we are right now. So that brings me to the end of this earnings review. I don't have any CRISPR news to report today, but let's go and take a look at what the markets are doing right now. Yeah, let's start off by looking at the VXN, which is where we always start our day. And here we have the VXN, which has a inverted hammer out here in green, which means we had spiked in the morning, and we were pushed down by the 9-day and the 20-day EMAs, which are these yellow and orange lines. We just went there, we touched the 9-day EMA, and we came down. And now we have resistance from 9-day, 20-day, as well as 50-day EMA. And we have a support out here at 26.85. And we also have a double resistance from the 50-day EMA, which is this green line, and with this green horizontal line of 27.73. So this is a very strong resistance which will help us today to stay below. But all these spikes, I think, have happened because we have new headlines which says Ukraine tensions, Russia begins military drills with Belarus. So there is this geopolitical instability again rearing its heads, and this is going to be a concern for the markets, in my opinion. And probably part of that is reflected in the way VIX behaved in the morning. It went up, and then the market kind of calmed down. And now we have VXN, which is up 1.34%, and as a result, we have Nasdaq down marginally at minus 0.18%. That's around 25 basis points or 30 basis points on an average. Our Nasdaq has got support from the 9-day EMA as well as the 20-day EMA, and we have support here at 14227, which was very strong resistance before. So I'm going to mark it as support here. I should have done that yesterday, but I forgot. So that still continues to be a support for us. MACD is bullish and momentum is picking up. It's average right now and it's moving sideways. So hopefully the market tensions, if they reduce and the week starts going down a little bit more, we'll start seeing some positives on NASDAQ, which will reflect in some positives for the biotech sector. Now let us look at the let's look at the biotech sector. First, let me just quickly go and have a quick look at what's happening with Toyota Motors. So Toyota Motors, after its result, has dropped $5.65. It opened very low in the morning at around 194, and then it went up all the way to 196, and now it is back down, and it's at 195.66. So it opened around 194.93. Went down, came back up. So it's kind of forming a doji candle, and it's being supported by the 50-day EMA, and it's being restricted by the 9-day and the 20-day EMAs. So that's where we are with Toyota. And as a result of the statements on semiconductors, I think there is a whole overhang on Tesla as well. So Tesla is just slightly above support at 928.62. Now let's quickly go back to our biotech sector, which is where we focus mostly. And I'm going to just sort the stocks to see which is the biggest gainer. So we have an equally divided deck out here. Half the stocks are in the red and the other half are in the green. And Intelia is topping the lot. And We have a gain of 2.84% today, and we have a resistance. We are exactly poised at 100.64, fighting that resistance. Our MACD is bullish and momentum is also picking up. So we are sure to break through this resistance, and probably we'll get stopped by the resistance at 102.48. So I predict that we might end the day somewhere between 100.67 and 102.48. For Intelia. Next, let us look at Glaxo, which is up 2.69%. And I'm going to remove Glaxo from our list. This is not something that we follow on a regular basis, so we don't want to put time in there. Let's look at Beam. Beam is up 1.80%. That is $1.23. We have a support which is still supporting us at 65.12. As we can see today, we had dipped down. Each of these candles is 1 day, so we had dipped down below the support and then we had come back up. We have a resistance for us at 70.08, and given the MACD being bullish and momentum picking up, I would predict that we are going to break through this resistance today. The resistance at 70.08, which means that we just need another 60 cents to go above that. That I think is pretty much possible for today. So that's where I'll peg Beam. Teladoc is up 1.48%. And our MACD is bullish and the momentum is also picking up. So I would expect Teladoc to end positive today. And that's about all I can predict. We still have a support from the 9-day EMA, but the 20-day EMA is kind of giving us a bit of trouble out here. Once we cross that over, I think we'll end the day above the 20-day EMA, which presently stands at 74.78, and we are already at 76.99. Next, we come to ARCG, which is up 0.86%. It is above the support that we have here at 48.82. And since we are at 51.57, a long way above this support and also above the 9-day and 20-day EMA, I'm going to have a look at the 1-day chart to see what it looks like. And I'm just going to roll out. So we have seen a sharp gain here today, and we have gained a lot of points out here. We went all the way up from 49.11 where we opened to 51.78. Our MACD is turning bullish, and our momentum is almost coming to overbought. So we may see a slight pause out here and move sidewards, and because MACD has just started going bullish, I would expect that ARCG would end above 0.53 for the day, above a gain of 0.53 for the day. PACB is up 1.19%. In the short term, we can see that the MACD is picked up, and the momentum is also very high. We are very close to being overbought. So we have positive bias out here. Let me go to a long-term vision where we can look at a daily candle, and we can see that our daily candle is being constrained by the 20-day EMA, which currently sits at 12.08. We are right now at 11.95. So we may probably have an opportunity to cross the 12.08 20-day EMA and end above that for the day. With regard to PACB, let's look at EDIT, which is up 1.08%. That takes us above the resistance, which is at 18.20. We are presently at 18.70, and our MACD is bullish, and momentum is also picking up. If I go to a 1-day time frame for Editas, we can see that the MACD is bullish, and we also have the RSI picking up. So it's looking good for Editas, and I would expect Editas would end the day positive, and probably somewhere around 10 cents to 30 cents range is where I would put it, because we are fairly early in the day. It's 10:31 a.m. right now. Market close is way off. So that's what I would be able to predict. Let's look at CRISPR. CRISPR is up 1.52%, almost 1.6%. The MACD is bullish, and we are getting close to overbought on a daily scale. But if I look at a long-term view and look at a 1-year time frame, we can see that we are going to hit a resistance at 66.36. We are right now at 66.16. So I think we would probably end up just slightly above 66.16 and make that resistance a support by the end of the day for CRISPR. Let's go on to Regeneron, which is up 0.04%. And I'm going to look at, again, this as a bullish upward trend, and this is a bullish pennant. which we have crossed over, and as I predicted, we have got support on this diagonal line, which was giving us support inside the pennant, which is now giving us support outside the pennant. We bounced off it and went above, and we have resistance now, which is at 619.54. We are marginally above it at 619.85. So I'm hoping that we will end the day somewhere between 619.54, and we would potentially cross our resistance, which is the 50-day EMA at 621.08. So my prediction is that we might end up the day just at around 621.07 or somewhere around 621.50. That's what I expect for Regeneron, ending positive. Let's look at Novartis. Novartis is down marginally at 0.03%, and we have a perfectly formed doji candle out here for the day, and we are above our support of 87.04, and also above the 9-day and 20-day EMA, which are at 86.90 and 86.91 respectively. So I would expect that we will end the day positive and above the horizontal support line today for Novartis. So I'm seeing upside for Novartis. When I look at the MACD, it is bearish and the momentum is flat. So that's what I would expect for Novartis. Let's go on to Bluebird, which is up 1.63% as we spoke. It had picked up steam. MACD is bullish. Momentum is below average, but it is picking up. So I would look forward to Bluebird staying above the 9-day EMA, which is at 7.27, and it would be trying to overcome the 20-day EMA, which is at 8.10. Presently we are at 7.48, so I would expect us to inch closer to the 20-day EMA and end slightly below that for the day. So overall I expect a green day for blue, ending significantly below 8.10, which is a 20-day EMA. Next, let us go on to Pfizer, which is up, which is down minus 0.73%, and we have the 100-day EMA, which is the white line that you see there, which is constraining us, and all the other EMAs are further above, going to provide us resistance going forward. We are also below our long-term bullish channel, which is this diagonal green line that you see here, so which is now going to be a resistance for us. So I'm going to mark it as red. And our first order of business would be to cross over that. And I do not see Pfizer doing that today. I see Pfizer going further down, and we still have support, which is at 49.83. But I suspect we may end the day somewhere around $50 for Pfizer. Verve is down minus 2%. That's around 7 cents. The MACD is bullish when we look in the long-term sense, and the momentum is neutral. But if we go to a one-day time frame, we can see that the MACD is bullish and the momentum is falling slightly. So given those things, I would expect that we will end up finishing the day above the 9-day EMA, which stands at 31.21. We are right now at 31.27. So let's look at Allogene. This is a one-day chart. So each of these candles are 1 minute. I'm going to just zoom out to take overall perspective for Allogene. We are steadily inside the downward bearish channel that you can see bounded by the red line and the green line. And we have a support here, which happens to be at 9.93. And right now we are at 10.98, and we are being constrained in the long term by all the EMAs, with the 9-day EMA being the closest. And in the long term, we are looking at a bullish MACD and a picking momentum. But if we go to the 1-day chart, we can see that our MACD is bearish and our momentum is just about picking up. And right now Allogene is negative minus 0.05, and I would expect that Allogene might probably not be able to go beyond the 20-day EMA, which is this orange line, and the 9-day EMA, which is this yellow line. It would probably stay above the support of the 50-day and the 100-day EMA, which is the white line and the green line. So I think that we should be happy if we end the day for Allogene above 10.97 or at 10.97, because that is the 100-day EMA, and that's where we are getting the maximum support right now. However, MACD looking bearish and the momentum falling, there's a great danger that we might fall below that, because if you look at the chart out here, at this point of time, both 50-day and 100-day EMA are 10.97 each. So there is a very strong support there. So let's hope for the best, but there is a good chance that we might fall below that before the end of the day, in which case we'll have to plot some new resistance lines. And that's where, if I zoom out, I can see that we have got support, which is this green line, which happens to be at 9.93. Even though it seems to be very far away, there's a good likelihood that we may reach there in case we break down those two supports that we saw. Next, let's go on to Vertex. Vertex is down minus 1.81%. And as you can see, the pattern with Vertex is we go up, we go down, then we go up, and then we go down, then we go up, and we go down. So I would expect that we are going to go up again after this. But right now we are having a support from the 20-day EMA, which is this orange line. And if you look at the orange line, whenever we had Vertex go down, it has bounced off the orange line. So right now we are going to bounce off this orange line. We already done that. So tomorrow I would potentially expect us to start our upward journey back again. If the past trend is to continue, we have got a resistance here, which is at 239.52, which was earlier a support, and I'm not yet changing it because we are above that right now at 239.90. So let us look at what happens until the end of the day. Our 9-day EMA is pushing us down. MACD is turning bearish and the momentum is falling. So we might potentially end the day above 236.80, which happens to be the 20-day EMA. That's what we have for Vertex. And for IMTX, we are down minus 3.03%. MACD is just turning bullish, and momentum is not present. So we have a resistance here at 9.65, which has been pushing us down, and we have a support for us, which happens to be at 8.80. And given the way the MACD and the RSI is behaving right now, I would expect IMTX would end the day red, probably minus 35 or minus 40 cents for the day. So that's all I have, folks, for the session today. I hope you enjoyed the session. Please don't forget to press a like there. And if you are new to the channel or you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. It is free and it just helps the channel reach more people. And that's all I have for you today. Bye for now and see you tomorrow.